Hey, what's up, guys? It's Seeker with another video today. Today we'll be doing a sort of review video, I guess is what you can call it. We'll be watching a fellow YouTuber's video and giving our own inputs. Let's see how it goes. Uh, by the way, the YouTuber that I'm watching right now is currently Fate, Fight All Thy Enemies, who is a good friend of mine. But that aside, let's get to it.
All right. I mean, I thought some parts of the you know what's so funny? It's something I'm starting to realize that people that fight professionally are some of the softest. Not all of them, but some of them are just absolutely just soft in the middle.
He's not wrong. I've noticed the same thing, honestly, that a lot of these pro players, which it doesn't matter which community, not all of them, but a large sum of them are indeed a bit soft, and they're always crying about something, or they're always trying to control what other people say and how other people play, how others should run their channels and how shouldn't they run their channels. A good example of a soft, well, rather, a good example would be, I'm guessing Sonic Fox would be a good example of a soft pro player. But we'll get into that later.
Right. And they do act like religious fanatics.
That is also true. A lot of these guys do act like religious fanatics. Whether that comes to, the game itself, i.e. Mortal Kombat 1, with how religiously a lot of these only pros kiss ass to the shit ass game. For example, if it's not that, there's another example for Sonic Fox, who always loves to preach about his political views instead of just, talking about the games or things that have to do with the game. For example, now he always has to throw some kind of fucking, how do you say, political remark.
Right. Exhibit A.
Hold on, let me make sure. Okay. I would just wanted to make sure.
Notice Tekken God Supreme, and God of Destruction. These are 3 ranks in Tekken 8 that you can achieve. Do you believe you are God when you get to these ranks? Yes or no?
I can say that some people actually do believe that. Some people are that insane.
Do you believe you're an emperor? Or a mighty ruler? Or a lord? No. For the very reason that this person here is probably some kid who thinks he's edgy, right? Who has not broken any rules whatsoever, because we are not under a certain religious law around the world. Therefore, these people can say and do whatever they want. This is not offensive. And it could be the very person's belief system that this is the way they portray this individual.
And if it was offensive, so fucking what? Look, I'll get into it more as he gets into it in the video, but a lot of people like to talk shit about Christianity. And a lot of it comes from ignorance and this whole idea of I'm morally superior than you guys. And you guys did something wrong here and there, which usually turns out they're wrong, but they shit on Christianity and people are supposed to just take it and whatever, right? But then the moment you do this to another religion, people start complaining and bitching, which is basically a double standard. And it's always like a rules for thee, but not for me type of ordeal. But let's keep going to the video.
Their God. Right? Killing Hawk says, I will not play Tekken 8 until this ID is removed and all words that have blasphemous aspects are corrected.
To that, I'll say, guess what, buddy? Not everyone believes the things that you believe. So you just gotta take it and deal with it, Cupcake. Christians go through the same thing. Other religions go through the same thing. Just part of life.
So only, not everyone, not, anything to do with like blasphemy against Christian. I mean, I saw somebody was called I am Jesus here. Nobody would be saying anything.
Yeah, no one would be saying anything. You could talk bad about Christianity or Jesus and make fun of him and no one would say anything. But the moment someone does this, people are crying on the internet. Or if you criticize another religion, people cry on the internet. But it's okay to do it to Christianity because, sure. And when I say Christianity, I'm not talking about Catholicism. Catholicism is a completely different thing, as much as people want to deny that.
In fact, you know what would happen? Most people would be laughing.
Yep.
Most people would find this funny. Now, as a Christian, we have been mocked for centuries, right? Our faith.
Yep. We have been mocked. We have been ridiculed. We have been imprisoned. We have been killed. Oh, I'm sorry. We have been Minecrafted. Because apparently you can't say the K word because, even though you're a fucking adult.
Has been mocked and ridiculed, and we have been hunted and persecuted, incinerated even, and destroyed for our faith in Jesus Christ.
Yep.
Above any and all other religions combined.
Yep.
Why is that? Well, for me personally, because it is the truth.
Exactly. Like, can you imagine? Most of these people say that Christianity is not real, but they have this amazing hatred for a God they claim is not real. Like, could you see me spending time out of my day every 5 seconds to complain about something I don't believe in? With hatred? Like, come on. Like, you see a lot of these atheist guys, for example, that don't believe in God and stuff, but then are over here wearing shirts that say God sucks, Christianity is that and the other, I hate religion, da 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 da. It's like, bro, I've never wasted, personally, time on trying to wear anything on a religion that I don't believe in. Because if I don't believe in something, guess what? Unless someone tries to have like a debate or discussion with me about it, I'm not really going to put any mind into it because I don't believe in it. I don't believe in Buddha. You don't see me spending every 5 seconds of my waking life talking about Buddha, for example.
No, I had someone not agree with this, so much so that I don't know if we're friends anymore.
Yeah, I've noticed that too because I'm part of his Discord server. I'm actually one of his admins. You should join his Discord, by the way. And a couple people actually left because of the point or statement that Fate made, which you will see in the video. And I find it funny because some of these people would talk bad about Christianity or have said something that they don't agree with, but no one kicked them out. No one disrespected them or anything. And yeah, they got triggered and left the server because you could talk shit about Christianity, but you can't talk or criticize any other religion because suddenly that's you walking past the line. Hypocrisy and double standards.
Because I wrote... Well, that was one of the comments I wrote.
Yeah, he wrote that. He wrote this. And it's funny that people get so triggered about that because even Mike Hollow, by the way, who doesn't get along with Fate, which is a funny story because the other day he came into the stream that Fate was doing because apparently he couldn't sleep. So what you do when you can't sleep is go up to the person you don't like's channel to stalk them and then have this whole fucking like back and forth with them. And then after that, you leave just to go stalk the guy on Twitter along with Sikander or Shitcander, as I call him, to do the same thing and get pissy because of the statement that he made. So we could talk shit about Christianity, and that's fine and dandy, and everyone laughs and says whatever. But the moment you say something like this, suddenly everyone thinks that you crossed the line. That's a bit far. But have you people seen the bad things they've said about Christianity? You know, double standard much? Hypocrisy? No? You know, for people like Mike Hollow who likes to brag about fancy talk and being articulate and all this other stupid crap, you know, just to basically compensate for whatever he lacks, it seems. Not very articulate, not very good with words. But let's just keep going.
Right? The other one was this one. This banger.
All right, let's see.
Now you can go onto YouTube and you can research this yourself. And you will come to the same conclusions that I did.
Yeah, he's not wrong. If you look up a lot, research and everything, that deity, so-called deity, basically acts exactly and claims to be the very things the Bible claims Lucifer to be. And therefore, if you do the research, and we've had a comment before by an atheist who made this very point. They don't believe in any God, but it appears, even to him who's an atheist, that this God here is essentially bringing himself up to be Lucifer. And there was a video too that showed a verse where this very same deity does confirm to be himself Satan. So,
Okay? Because any religion that promotes that it's okay to be able to engage with children in a specific way.
yes, and that's also another problem where people who were crying about what Fate said about this deity, but they tend to ignore what the deity does and says and claims, you know, like Minecrafting people who don't believe the same thing that you do, which is very wrong. And then their prophet is over here marrying and doing certain acts, as he put it, with children. But you know, let's not criticize that because that's stepping a little too far away from the line. You know what I mean? You're crossing that line, apparently, according to a lot of these hypocrites.
Why is me saying that the line too far?
Exactly. Yep.
You know what I'm talking about. Let's not get it twisted, right? So let's delve into this, right? He doesn't want to play anymore until this gets banned. Well, isn't this convenience yet again? It's funny how we can have the utter removal of anything Christian-like.
Yep. Isn't that funny?
Everything has to be removed because even the very existence of a Christian is offensive to certain people.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then you get the virtual signals out there, the lefties that hate Christians, hate what the Bible says.
Yeah. And the only reason they hate it is because it talks about the very bad things that they do. That's it. That's it. Your God is evil because he doesn't allow me to do whatever I please. I should determine what I should be able to do, not him kind of mentality. That's it.
But they don't say anything about this fella and the way that they Buzz Lightyear gay people off rooftops.
Yep, that's another thing they don't talk about. The way that these people buzz like you're the LGBT off of rooftops, but simply saying that you don't agree with it is somehow the equivalent of that.
In certain parts of the world. That's okay though, right? They don't say anything about that. You want to know why? Because they're afraid.
Exactly.
Nobody fears Christians.
Nope.
And the reality is, though, you can mock our God and you can mock Jesus Christ because eventually you're going to have to show up there one day and you're going to have to explain yourself.
Yep, that's
why
true.
You thought it was so funny, or why you thought this and why you thought that.
Because we allow people to say whatever they want, because at the end of the day, when the day comes, you have to bow before that very same being. And like you said, you're going to have to give an accounting for the things that you said and done.
Right. Six Arakan comes in with an absolute banger. Playing Tekken 8 has a RAM anyway. So what you're saying is absolutely stupid. That is why you all sound like pathetic jokes, because you're picking and choosing what's allowed in your religion is laughable.
Yep.
So somebody didn't like me saying about their God, right? Yet their very religion promotes and believes that Jesus is not the Son of God.
Right. Which I find funny, because people are always trying to mix Catholics and Christians and Islamic together, or Islam together, as being the same religion, because we all have a deity we call God, and because they all mention Jesus somehow, that somehow makes them the same thing, even though they're not. Because if I were to say talk about Satanism, which I had a discussion with someone in the Discord about, and if you mention Satanism believes in Lucifer, who is from the Bible. They have God in their satanic Bible, and they have Jesus, but they have a very twisted version of all the three beings. For example, Lucifer in the satanic Bible is seen as this hero rebel that stood against a tyrannical God. So God is viewed as tyrannical, and Jesus as well is not shown in the best light either. But they don't put Satanism along with Christianity as an Abrahamic quote unquote religion, which is, again, ironic.
Just a prophet that could heal the sick. Which is more offensive?
And to add to the point, like, even the Catholic version of God and Jesus are twisted versions of what God should be, especially their doctrines and etc. And it's the same thing with Islam.
Right? The tolerance only goes one way, it seems.
Yep.
Because they'll keep their belief system. They won't talk about, oh, well, this is just how it is with Jesus. That's just how it is. You can't argue that. All of this over a damn video game. Right?
Yep. Over a video game. Because somehow we have to bring real life and political views that don't really foster any good intentions, like the leftist and other weird religions. So we have to bring that up in video games, because reasons. It's the reason why Western games suck, is because when you try to base it off forced diversity and politically correct bullshit, it's never gonna be good, because you kill the incentive of making a good actual story. And There are very, very, very rare extremes where like they do have this social justice bullcrap on their games, but they actually manage to focus on making a good story because they're not beating you over the head with their little politics that no one really cares about. And people should really speak up against that kind of stuff. But that's why I can't blame the devs entirely because they don't get to do things unless the fan base allows them to do things. So if you allow devs to beat you over the head with political nonsense, then that's on you. That's not really on the devs because you're the one allowing them.
People who aren't part of your religion don't believe in your God. Learn to deal with it instead of demanding people to obey rules that don't apply to you.
Exactly. Just like we can't do that to people, people shouldn't be able to do that to us. Same thing. It's rules for thee, but not for me.
Them. Yes, block and move on.
Yep.
He's not breaking any rules. Right? Aren't God writings blasphemous? If it's upsetting you, just block and move on. Not everyone is religious, and vast majority of people won't care for something like this. And that's correct. We are not living under a certain law that they want us to live. Just keep in mind that they want the entire world under this law. Christians don't. Christians just simply know the truth and say, listen, Jesus is right there if you want him. If you don't want him, that's fine.
Yeah, exactly.
If you don't believe, that's on you.
Right. And I know a lot of you are going to bring up the bad Christians, and yeah, there are bad. There are bad Christians that like to be very pushy, which I'm against. You know, for example, if I'm doing something wrong and you're a Christian and you come up to me, hey, you know, you're not. This is not very Christian-like. You know, we'll look at the verse, we'll talk about it, but like, okay, yeah, you're right. Let me, pray for me. I'll pray about it, and I'll let God work on that side of me. That's it. But you can't constantly be every 5 minutes telling them this, that, and the fourth, and you're going to hell. And you're like, look, yes, the ultimate truth is if you don't change your ways, that's the only place waiting for you, unfortunately. Because when you break laws, guess what's waiting for you? Prison. So that's fine. But to be knocking people over the head every 5 seconds with the same thing is a problem. It's like the whole issue where, like, I was in this Discord and people were mentioning their sexuality every 5 seconds. Like, bro, like, we got it the first time. Now, can you shut the hell up, please? That's it. You don't need to bang people over the head with such things. And yes, there are certain Christians that go about their things the wrong way, because you have to understand most of the people are only in religions to make it it's basically lip service and a title that they can wear on their chest proudly so everyone can look at them and say, look, this is a good person. And that's not okay. And then you have Christians that go to these marches, which I won't mention, so in case I'll get banned for saying that too. They go to these marches and says that these are going to hell for being these deserve hell and da 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 da. That's wrong too. And to claim that because there are bad apples in Christianity, that somehow the whole religion doctrine is like that, when it's not, because it speaks very much against about these bad ways of behaving. And if you choose to ignore that, that's a you problem, not a doctrine or Jesus problem. Then, yeah.
They're not trying to convert the world. Now, no religion has a history of being innocent, but there is nothing in the Bible that talks about dealing with certain people that decide to leave the faith.
Exactly. I know people from the other faith, well, I won't mention it too much so I don't get my YouTube canceled, that he's talking about, that have admitted that if they leave their faith, and some people have left their faith, and their family, even their own flesh and blood, will look for them, just to Minecraft them for abandoning their faith. If you date a girl from that religion and you're not their religion and their family finds out, they're going to look for you to Minecraft you for that. And that's not just in the Middle East, that's here as well.
I was watching this podcast yesterday.
I mean, hell, they'll even do it. I knew someone years back. I won't mention their name, to protect them and such. And they took off their little hat, and she had to leave her country and and even here she was running away from them because they were looking to Minecraft her for simply taking off her thing, being in the United States and posting her pictures with her hair showing, and
That because somebody left the Muslim faith, if they were under that particular law, they could actually get removed from this world in a physical sense, if you get my drift.
Yep.
That's
not
what
wrong.
they think of you. Right? But rather than confront that, people walk away.
Yep, people don't want to confront it, but they'll confront us for saying we don't agree.
Christians to be
Basically, what I was saying, sorry, I forgot to pause. They won't confront Muslims for that, for doing stuff like that, which is evil, by the way. To kill someone simply, and the Mormons do the same thing, and other religions. They won't talk against that or confront that, but the moment you say you don't agree with a certain lifestyle, everyone wants your head. Imagine hypocrisy, double standards,
persecuted and vilified and attacked and mocked constantly, and we have to sit there and constantly defend ourselves. Well, we don't actually, but some of us do. And in the reason why we have our faith in what we...
Yeah, they try to get us to be all defensive and crap. And we have, because they'll say, oh, but it says this, and then you have to show them, not even with the words. Like, yeah, but you guys love to cherry pick. You read one verse and automatically assume that it's something evil. It's like the whole Canaanite issues. Because they'll bring up in ignorance the whole Canaanites being wiped out. But yet the Canaanites did bestiality. They did stuff with children. They sacrificed children. Whether that was birthing them, to put them on a molten metal, quote unquote, deity statue to melt them alive as they cried, whether that was kidnapping or their own children. What else? Homosexuality, and many number of really bad things that these people did, and because they were wiped out for being evil, because when, as a good person, you're supposed to speak against evil and make laws to attack evil instead of how the laws now attack the average citizen that follows the law, in quote unquote the guise to attack the lawless. Because how are you going to make a law to attack people who don't follow laws? Imagine that. But it's all just to attack the people who actually do follow the laws because they want control.
We believe in, but as soon as you point out their stuff, they want to bring in laws. They
Yep.
want to ban you. They want to go to extremes to deal with you. How dare you?
Exactly, yeah.
There's a reason why Christianity is the only religion in this world that is constantly attacked.
Mm-hmm.
Two things. A, because it promotes utter and pure love.
Exactly.
B, because it's the truth.
Exactly. And the whole love thing that people get wrong too is love is not me telling you, yeah, good job for doing this bad thing. No, love requires me as a person. For example, if I have a son, right, and my son does something bad, my job as a loving parent, which I know a lot of people don't understand that, is to be on my son and tell him, no, I love you and all, but what you did here is wrong, and you can't do that again, or me or you are going to have problems. There's a consequence to a bad action. That's my job as a parent, to teach my child. It's not that, yeah, you can do whatever you want, whatever feels good. No. That's bad parenting.
Block him or quit. not breaking any rules. I'm curious, would you turn a blind eye if it was mocking another religion, or is it just because this only affects you? Well, we know that.
And we can say that about a lot of people because, like I said earlier, yes, they'll mock Christianity and their God, and etc. And that's okay, and people laugh, and you can't say anything back because apparently, you have to have thick skin. But the moment they do it to their views, their religions, their politics, and etc., suddenly, that's a bridge too far to cross.
The truth, right? I mean, are you allowed to play video games?
Apparently not. You know how many insane and fucked up names I found playing online games? A lot. And as fucked up as they are, some of them are actually funny. So I just laugh. And if they say something that's very offensive to my God, I just don't say anything. I just keep my mouth shut and be like, well, God will deal with that. You know what I mean? Like, that's their business. I'm not gonna laugh with them because it's not funny, but I'm not gonna be asking them to get banned and say all this wild shit about they need to be permanently banned and whatnot. Sorry.
They actually want you to lose access to your personal belongings. They want you to lose.
Hold on, let me see something here. Yeah, sorry about that. It's acting weird.
Access to something that you've paid for because of somebody just making a joke.
Right. You pay for something that's supposed to be for you to do whatever, and people are telling you that you can't. It's like this very same companies. That's why they're going to digital, and there's all these fucking things that you're basically paying $70 for a game that you don't even own now. So therefore, they can tell you what the hell you can and you can't do. So it basically comes down to the line of you will own nothing and you will be happy about it. But people want to let that happen. So
imagine Christians being like that, right? I remember the crazy Christians back in the 80s and stuff and 90s complaining about video games, promote the devil and all this sort of shit. But that's the outliers.
Exactly, that's the very sorry, that is a very minor minority that act crazy like that. Because even when that came out, I was like, to a point. Look, in a certain sense, they do have a point. There are video games that can bring bad things into your home and etc. Because the video games go so deep into like this occult stuff, which is why I won't play certain horror games because of that kind of thing. And to that bit, I can agree with them. But to like claim that every video game is from the devil and all this other crap is stupid. And I've dealt with that in my personal life too. And I'd have to be like, well, for example, I'll use Transformers. Someone was like, oh, Transformers are evil because only God can transform. And I'm just laughing here. It's like, so God turns into a truck? Like, come on now. Like, yes, there are symbolic things that get put into video games that is very bad and you shouldn't play. Call of Duty did this some time ago with the whole like rituals and summoning beasts and demons and shit. You know what I mean? You don't have to go in too deep into stuff like that because it can bring bad things into your life, but that's the extent. Like, you can have video games about this kind of thing without going too deep into it, where it's almost like you're worshiping, these things. But yeah.
That is people who have decided for themselves what is. It is not in the good book about any of that. Keep that in mind. Right? People, humans, will twist anything.
All right. He's right and wrong. the Bible does say there are things that you shouldn't watch and you shouldn't listen to because of what I just explained like a minute ago. And we have to be worry, weary about those things. You know what I mean? We got to watch out for stuff like that. That's why I won't play certain games, like I explained, because or watch certain shows or movies or listen to certain types of music because they bring the devil does use these mediums to get people addicted to bad things in life, bad lifestyles, bad choices, and etc. And you have to be worried about that kind of stuff. And of course, you're always going to have the people that twist the words. For example, like we believe in the Second Amendment, and a lot of Christians think that Jesus is supposed to be this hippie that says, why can't we all get along? And no, the Bible even claims that you should be able to defend yourself. You should be able to defend your home, your family, your country, that you're allowed to have a weapon or a sword to defend yourself. It doesn't say go around uh, uh, gifting people with lead. It says for protection. God can protect people, but people also have to do their part. Because God is not dumb. He understands there are evil people in this world, and you have to do what you have to do to defend your home, defend your family, your wife, your kids, your liberties, and etc. Because if you don't, today's society is what you get. And there's a quote before I let fate talk again that says, the world is a dangerous place to live, not because of bad or evil people. It's because of people who look on and do nothing. So, for example, if there's someone getting jumped, right, in the street right now, all of you who stand there, laugh, and don't do anything and just record, you're just as bad as the person jumping someone for whatever stupid reason it is.
Okay? But if you look at the Bible, it never talks about that. Okay? I always love that good one when they bring up Noah and the flood and how God was evil and he killed everyone. Killed everyone.
Yeah, that's another point too. So when these people cry talking about, oh, God's evil. If God was so good, why is there evil in the world? God should deal with the evil. Then when God deals with the evil, then they complain and say that God's evil for dealing with these people in the way that he did because they were evil. And then when God sometimes doesn't do anything, it's because maybe when you ask God to deal with the evil on the earth, it might so happen that God will deal with you first. And a lot of people don't like that because everyone wants to claim they're a good person when they're not. No one here on this planet is a good person. There are people who strive to be good, and there's people that do whatever the hell they want. Striving to be good does not make you a good person. No one here is a good person. No one on this planet is a good person. There are those who strive to do what's right, and there are those who keep digging their graves to do selfish and evil things.
Everyone in the flood, right?
And I want to add to that. That's why a lot of religions exist, because most of the religions are just people creating gods that make them act and seem and behave holy, but when it comes down to it, they can do whatever they please because their so-called quote-unquote God allows them to do whatever. But yet Christianity's God is a problem because he doesn't allow you to do whatever you want because there are rules. He dictates how you should behave, how you should speak, how should you act, how to love another person, how marriage works, what you should do and what you shouldn't do, to try to help you to have self-control in your life so your life is not a mess. And that's a problem, apparently. And that makes him quote-unquote evil.
But what they don't tell you, what they always leave out, is that Noah had 120 years He tried to convince people for 120 years to get on that boat because the flood was coming.
Yep.
And not a single person believed him.
Listen, yep. It's like the Canaanites. That's one thing that the atheists and unbelievers don't like to look at when they talk about the Canaanites. God gave them 400 years. 400 years, man. Four. That's a lot of patience for 400 years of trying to give these people chances, of sending people to their cities to change. And he gave them 400 years to change, and they didn't, and look what happened to them. But he's
You
evil,
think
right?
about that. 120 years, not a single soul believed him until it started to rain.
When it was too late, yeah.
They always leave out that part because they want to make God look terrible. And then they turn a blind eye, you know, when they're Buzz Lightyearing certain people off rooftops in other countries.
Yep.
Yeah, that's why I call it out, because it's bullshit. Harada right now. Imagine being offended for an imaginary PDF file that probably didn't even exist in the first place. This is funny since you literally made all devil affiliated characters in the game. See, and I've got a channel where we're going to be discussing that. We actually want to sort of, you know, talk about different games from a religious point of view and how to sort of like, you know, approach that, right?
Yeah, the channel is going to be called The Clerics. He owns that channel. I would suggest that if any of you, you know, are interested or believe that, you know, you follow that channel, again, it's called The Clerics.
So they're literally playing a video game, right? Beating the crap out of people, okay? Playing as some characters like Devil Jin or Devil Kazuya, who has devil powers anyway. Don't mention that though.
Yeah, right.
So thin skin, just block and ignore. Are you going to call for the authorities every time some troll slights your religion in a video game?
Exactly.
Well, we actually see that.
Yep.
We've actually seen that happen over in England, right?
In Canada.
Where people have been arrested and investigated over tweets.
Yep.
Because it is wrong think.
And even South Park, which I don't agree with South Park, but it's their right, was gonna do Muhammad in their show, and then they got all these death threats and people showing up in their studios and whatnot. So they couldn't even do that. But every other religion's okay. Imagine. They still did their slight thing because of South Park, but you see the point?
Guess you're never playing again. Nobody cares. Move on. Not everyone is Muslim. That's correct. Yep. That is correct. Go play a different game if your religion means that much to you, but they won't.
Nope, they won't.
Like that, they absolutely won't. Right? So, and then, hang on. And then there was this one. Some of that stuff I can't even read.
Sorry, I'm drinking a fruit.
Again, if we can allow Christianity to be attacked and enforced the way it is, right, then it has to go both ways.
Exactly.
Right?
You can't.
This guy says no.
It has to go both ways because you can't have your cake and eat it too.
Literally, in the world has the right to call themselves God. Exhibit A. Anywho, this triggered some people. By the way, right? By the way, this is what I had someone like walk away, right? So their religion teaches them that Jesus Christ is not the Son of God, but this was a bridge too far.
Exactly. Yeah.
Funny how Christians always have to be accepting of everyone else and not the other way around.
Exactly. That was the point I made earlier.
And boy, oh boy, do I love it when they use the Bible against us. Huh. Yeah, we're not speaking against the Holy Spirit because we don't believe in your God.
Yep.
We believe in the Christian God and Jesus Christ. So we're not blaspheming against Jesus and we're not blaspheming against our God.
Exactly.
Right? Quit being so soft. I don't like it, but Allah leans God in Arabic with all these taking God and God destruction ranks. Is it really that disgusting? It's not. It's probably some kid. But yet again, you want to take away somebody's purchase over somebody just goofing around.
Right. Exactly.
You want to ban them, not have them get a.
It's the same problem with cancel culture. You pay for something and then you do whatever you want as long as it's not breaking the law, and magically you're treated like you're breaking the law because you hurt someone's a little tiny sensitive feelings. Like, look at Sonic Fox again. He can say all that shit with all the leftist political bullshit, but the moment you mention God, let's say you win at a fighting game tournament and you mention God, somehow that's a line you crossed, and everyone and people get triggered. But you can mention all these other gods and say that you're a leftist and all this bullshit and talk shit about people who are conservatives or whatever, and it's a problem. And it's not a problem. I'm sorry. You could talk about all these conservatives and their religion and everything, but it's not a problem. And the moment they call you on your shit, it's a problem. Okay.
Message saying, listen, please change your name. Nothing like that. No, it's
No. I disagree with Fate here too. See, I wouldn't even say please change your name. It's like, just let them do whatever. It's their game. They paid for it. I shouldn't be asking you. If I'm not allowed to ask you to change your name because it's offensive, which is fine, then the Muslims got to learn the same thing. Sorry.
it's always the extreme.
Yep,
We
always
see
the
this
extreme.
with lefties all the time.
Yep,
Right?
made that point earlier.
Bullshit. Anyway, I understand that you personally have an issue. Bullshit. But there's not everyone in the world does. There are literally people in America who legally go by the name Allah as a first or last name, and if that is their use of their name as their second name, should it be allowed? Not the case here. Well, how do you know it's not the case? How do you know it's not the case? If the imagery was different, would you still have an issue? If the avatar looked like you or looked like nothing or looked nothing like this, would you still feel this way? Probably not. That's correct.
Well, they probably would. They get butthurt about everything, so.
What if somebody mocked Jesus? Would you all treat it like it's a fine thing to do, just like what you're doing now?
Nope.
Well, we know the answers to that.
Yeah, it's no. They wouldn't say
Yes,
shit.
that
They would
part.
laugh along with them. Huh.
I hope you realize that religion is a line that can't be crossed no matter what.
I agree to that last part, to a certain point. Like, you shouldn't go out out of your way to go attack someone's religion. That's not cool. Now, if you're in a debate or their special book tells them to do things like Buzz Lightyear people out of roofs for not believing, you can criticize and say something about that, which they do to us too. But there's a certain the difference is there's a certain context behind that, and we don't do it. And then you got these guys in the Middle East, Buzz Lightyear people off for whatever reason. off the roofs, you know?
I don't know if this person's like old or doesn't realize, but yeah, like Jesus is constantly mocked, right? To be fair, Jesus is by far the most mocked and satirized religious figure out there of the three Abrahamic religions. Yes.
Yes.
Two of the Abrahamic religions actually try and bring in laws so you can shut up and not say anything bad.
And we don't.
That's the difference.
We allow you to say whatever
if
you
you have
want.
to create laws to protect your faith, then maybe it isn't as strong as you thought.
Right.
It should
To
be
us-
able to stand on word and word alone.
Word in the
And if
test of
people don't
time.
believe in it, so what?
Word in the test of time. And there also shouldn't be laws that dictate whether it's illegal to follow Jesus or not. There's a lot of variables and context, of course. But again, in a world or a nation where people are supposed to be free, quote unquote, free, you know,
We have free will. Seems like some of us want to take that away from us. Religion is always on the table for jokes and always has been. No religion gets a pass, especially when that joke is this harmless. Yes, that's correct. Right. I think I had that game. I have a game literally where you actually can choose, like it's got like religious type figures in it. Freedom of speech is more important than what you prefer. You don't get to decide what other people respect. See, this is the point of contention, right? So this person didn't like me saying that about their God. That was too far. But believing that Jesus was not the Son of God was not far enough. Apparently that's okay. Their religion believes in the removal of people from this worldly existence for certain reasons that no other religion believes in.
exactly.
Or at least Christianity doesn't, but that's not too far.
Yep. Their prophet likes to play with children, but that's not too far. But if you call that out, it's too far. Imagine.
Shut your dumb ass up whenever religion is mocked. God and Jesus is always first on the chopping block. Every time Allah is brought up, here comes his followers' threats and... Yep, I'm not saying that. Right?
Yep. I'm not saying that either, but yeah, he's right.
And then good
Well,
old
they're
Cupcake
right.
comes in swinging. Right? Look at fate, see why I took...
Yeah. Here comes Cupcake over here, who I had a ban from the Discord server for acting hella stupid when I told him to chill, and he's over here trying to act like a tough guy. But and this is what I said earlier, that these are the same guys, Sikander and Mike Hollow, because Mike Hollow also decided to make a comment about that. And here, these are people that don't really care about fate, but fate lives in their heads rent free 24/7. It's like, bro, if you don't like someone, move on. They could have made a video about me. And guess what? The most I will do, if I even care that much, is look at their video and whatever, and it's whatever. And I just keep moving. I wouldn't even look at that. I wouldn't care what they said. It's not my problem. But yeah, here they are, Sikander and Mike Hollow. I don't know if the Mike Hollow post is going to show up on here, but I was there. And here they are stalking the man for every little thing that he says. Imagine. And I've called Mike and Sikander on this shit. And all Mike does is he just reflects. He won't even answer the call out that I gave him on the Twitter about it's funny and ironic how these guys don't got anything better to do but to stalk this man's fate on his life or on his Twitter. Imagine.
him in the voice call. I said, cook so hard you need your boyfriend in the double team because that's what a good cupcake does. He responds with, didn't call him. He wanted to join the call. Cool, thank you for giving me the truth. You guys just make it too easy. You guys are clowns.
Yeah, he doesn't even know he outed himself there too. If I know a buddy of mine is gonna come in to double team someone, I mean, if they want to talk, that's fine. But if it's gonna become a double team or something like that, I wouldn't allow it. Just because on principle. But yeah, and that's what they do. And then Sikander was crying about, what Faith said, and it's like, you tell people to off themselves and their families. And Sikander is a Muslim, which is ironic. And then he goes on his YouTube to tell people to off themselves, their family, their whole bloodline, and they hope their family Minecrafts and all this other crap. But Fate saying this is it's a line you can't cross. Okay, yeah.
But I tell you what, right? You can keep, pushing your little lying and deceiving enterprises. We all know how people are getting to where they are, right? It's pretty obvious by now. But yeah, I think that if we are able to mock Christianity and Jesus constantly, and question, even Christians question our own faith constantly, asking questions, why about this, why about that? I think it's fair to say that, we shouldn't be banning people. Plus, again, if somebody said, I am Jesus, are we going to ban them?
No, I wouldn't ban them.
No.
That's on them. That's not on me.
They would leave it there. They would absolutely leave it there and laugh at it. Right? And that's the difference. Rules for thee, but not for me.
Exactly, yep.
And this is the problem. Christians are too tolerant, but at the same time, we also understand that it's not up to us to pass judgment. That judgment will be passed by the All-Father Almighty one day.
Yeah. And I want to touch on that. When he means judgment, he means punishments or whatever, because atheists and other religions like to say only God can judge me, but that's not true. The Bible does dictate that we can judge righteously. And as long as we don't do it hypocritically over the judgmental mind, judging people is not a problem. Now the punishments, that's up to God.
I don't know why I said All-Father. It was very Viking Odin sounding, wasn't it? All-Father. It sounds cool though, doesn't it? All-Father, right? Just adding Almighty Father. So, no, you just block and you move on and you get over it, right?
Exactly.
I mean, Christians have been dealing with this shit for centuries. You guys just, why is it that, we constantly have to set the example. We constantly have to sit here and let people absolutely shit all over our faith constantly.
Right, because someone in the Discord server was like, oh, you guys should know better. You guys should have thick skins and da-da-da-da-da. But that's not the problem. Because, again, when it's done to us, it's people laugh and people don't say anything. But the moment we say something about someone else, like he did on his Twitter, it's like tossing someone off. It's like Buzz Lightyearing someone off the rooftop for whatever. When we say something we don't agree with, or we criticize another religion, or we criticize atheism, or etc. But no, we're supposed to take it when we get criticized and all this other crap. And even in most countries where, not all of them, in most countries where they Minecraft Christians for simply being Christians.
Constantly. But as soon as somebody says something against you, instant ban. Instant cutoff. Oh, there's no room for discussion. There's no question as to why you're saying anything.
Exactly.
Right? Because that's the way you're taught. You are taught to either this way or no way.
Exactly.
Christians is different. We know the truth. We can say this is bad. And we will try and help you if you want it. But if you don't want the help, we can't force you either, because that goes against God's law of free will.
Exactly. Yep.
You can't force anyone. Right?
It's
And that is the major difference.
It's the same debates that I've had with other Christians as well, who think that they need to force things and views on people, and I'm like, no, that's not our job to force people. And like, when you try to bring someone into Christianity, your job is not to be like, oh, this, that, and the fourth thing, you're going to hell, or find God. Da, da, da. No, it's like, look, I've been through where you've been through. I understand. I was lost too. You know, if you ever want to, Jesus is here. Jesus loves you. Jesus only wants to change you. He just wants to have a relationship with you. And if you're ever open to open that door when he knocks, he's knocking. If you're ever willing to open that door, you know, I'll talk to you. I'll try to help you the way I can. We're not perfect. It's not about religion, and etc. That's how you get people to come. You don't get people to come by doing all this like forceful, pushy, and disrespectful, you know, way. Like, yes, there is a truth. You know, the truth is that if we don't look for God, there is a hell waiting for us, because we're sinful, we're evil, we're not good, and we deserve to be punished for the bad things that we've done. But that's not a good reason to go around telling people, oh, you're going to hell because no, you got to speak with people with love. You have to demonstrate to them that there's someone out there that loves them. And yes, there is an unfortunate downfall if you don't follow, but that's ultimately your choice. And you can't pretend that God's evil because, for example, imagine someone went into your house, right? And you don't know them, they're a stranger. And they say, oh, I'm allowed to stay here because I'm a good person. Do you think someone's going to let you in their house just because you say that? No. In order for you to come into someone's house, you have to get to know each other. You have to build a relationship with that person. And only then will they allow you to come to their house. And if you're ever homeless, they will let you live there. You don't automatically get to force your way into someone's house and claim that you deserve to be here because you're a good person. It's the same thing with heaven. You can't force your way to heaven and then tell God you're evil because I'm such a good person and I deserve to be here. You don't get to do that. If you didn't build a relationship with him, guess what? You're a stranger to him and he doesn't know you. Therefore, since you didn't want to get to know him in order to be in his house, unfortunately, you're not going to be there. He respected that choice that you didn't want to get to know him. And therefore, he keeps you out of his house because you didn't want to be there in the first place. You can't bribe God. You can't blackmail God. And you can't force yourself into coming into his house. There's a whole relationship you have to build in order to even get there. And you don't even get there because of your works. You don't get to be there because you're such a good person. You don't get to be there because you did a couple things that you thought were right. No. He has a set of rules, and none of us can follow them, unfortunately, because we're imperfect. We only get to go to his house if we, one, truly believe in him, we build a relationship with him, and out of his mercy, if we're still keeping that relationship alive with him, we get to be there. Pure mercy. Not because we deserve it, not because we did something good, not because we're good, and none of that forceful crap. We're there by mercy and mercy alone.
Difference. Why do you think there's so many converts happening right now? From a certain one that wants people banned for their name to Christianity.
Yeah.
There's a lot of converts happening right now.
Yeah. I was watching a video talking about Islam and all that. And they were talking about the things that their God says that basically aligns with the whole devil, Satan thing. And a lot of the people who were Muslims before were in the comment section saying, yeah, I left Islam because I opened my eyes and realized that was not okay. And they can tell you all these stories. And they're grateful that they were able to become Christians because they see that Christians are nothing like Muslims or the Middle East or etc. And yeah, that's why they're converting. There's a lot of people, even in the celebrities, who would tell you about all this occult stuff in Hollywood and stuff, and they're grateful that they're now Christians. And even corn stars coming out saying that they gave their life to Jesus Christ. And unfortunately for them, because one of them came out recently and said, don't judge me, don't be nice to me, and this, etc. Unfortunately, you have to understand because of your bad choices in the corn industry, there's going to be criticisms you're going to have to live with for the rest of your life. But that's on you because you chose that lifestyle. And as a Christian, you have to live with that. You did a wrong. And that kind of wrong, when you ruin your life that badly, is going to stay with you for the rest of your life. But your job as a Christian is to accept that, move on, and do better. So that, it's because it's not about what other people think. It's about what God thinks. And you're supposed to please God, not please people, because people are always changing their minds about everything. And most of it is based on hypocrisy and ignorance, because people, for the most part, just want to be willfully ignorant, which means ignorant on purpose.
A lot of people are starting to wake up, right? But at the end of the day, you can believe whatever you want.
Right.
But only cowards cut people off.
Right.
Only cowards do not want to have a conversation.
Exactly.
And just...
because recently, I think it was like 2 weeks ago, I got into this whole thing on Twitter with someone about the whole Mortal Kombat skins and etc. And most of these people, when I called them out on their logic, they would just like block you and whatnot. And like, you seen the one video where I posted, someone tried to shame me for liking Lee May, how she looked in Mortal Kombat Deceptions, because somehow, it's a sin now to like beautiful women. But yeah.
hide and go, well, I believe these things, but you can't question them because that's my truth, and therefore you can't say anything about me, otherwise I'll cut you off. That's not a two-way street.
Exactly.
It's not a two-way street. And it's not. Anyway, catch you next time.
Yeah, there you guys have it. I just wanted to do that. I've been thinking on that for a couple of days to see if I should do it or not. But, give me a like, give me a dislike, comment, share, subscribe. I also have a Discord. It's in my bio. It's in the description. Join Fate's Discord. It's on his bio and description. We'll have a good time. We'll chat. I'll do some live streams. Sometimes I'll be in chat and we can voice chat and whatnot when I'm not busy. But yeah, you guys have a good time and have a good rest of your day. Later.